Okay, well that might be a problem. All right, so yesterday I picked up that welder. It was after hours and things kind of didn't go the way I wanted them to. You saw that whole issue with the wire speed and the 2T, 4T. So, called customer service today, being Monday. And yes, it's the middle of April and I'm all geared up like this because it's cold, because winter will never end, ever. Now, that being said, after talking to customer service, they said that the machine has to be in use in order for the wire feed to work properly. My guess, I'm just trying to think of it from the way the engineers and developers came across this, is that when the machine's not feeding or is not sensing any kind of amperage change, it thinks that you're feeding new wire into it, so it just puts it into, let's go as fast as we can to get the wire out to the end. Which, if that's the case, that's awesome. If it's just a byproduct of their engineering, well, okay, well, then it's just a byproduct. I try to think of the way people engineer things the way that I would. I don't know, maybe I give them too much credit. So, they said the machine has to be in use in order for the 2T, 4T, tack, and the wire speed to work properly. So what I have is, I have just a couple pieces of scrap metal. They're the similar sizes. They're completely unprepped. I mean, this is garbage. But we're going to see if the wire speed control works now. And if that works, then we'll get into the 2T, 4T, and the tack function. And this is just going to be a quick kind of thing. I actually have a winch mount that I'm building that I'll be using this to finish on. So, that being said, machine's warmed up, gas is on, glasses are off. I made some initial adjustments per the sheet that's inside the machine. Let's see how she does. Let's put a ground on it. I think that's enough. That should be enough stick out, no? Okay, well, clearly the wire feed works. So clearly, imagine that, customer service was right, and I panicked, because, well, that's what I do. I'm very good at panicking. So just to give you a quick peek. See if you can see that. That's the bead it just laid down right there. And again, that's completely unprepped. I don't know, looks pretty good to me. Nice heat distortion on the back. So we're definitely punching through. Actually, you can see the weld coming through there. All right, let's play around with this. And that's not even turned all the way up. That's maybe halfway looking at the dial. So that's in 2T. Now 4T, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure that you do, but 2T is 2 touch, 4 touch is 2. Yeah, 2T is 2 touches. 4T is 4 touches. So what that means in a normal 2T is just like a regular welder. You pull the trigger, it goes on. You pull the trigger, it goes off. Right? It's just like a camera or a gun. 4T is you hit the trigger on and off. That'll initiate the arc, and you can weld without having your hand on the trigger. And then when you want to stop the arc, you press the trigger again. All right, so if you're doing a long bead, your hand's getting hot, You know, maybe it's just kind of in an awkward position. That's really a pretty cool thing to have. So let me set this to 4T. All right. And well, let's let her rip. I'll see if I can keep my finger out of the way so that you can see that I'm not pressing the trigger. Well, that certainly worked. All right, now the tack feature. Now, for those of you that are terrible at doing tack welds, this is great because no matter how long you hold your finger on the trigger, it's only going to go for a specified amount of time. And don't think that any of this was set up, okay? I'm doing this as you're seeing it. In fact, I sent a pretty, I wouldn't say scalding, but I sent an email to a representative in Eastwood, and the person that I was on the phone with, I was not exactly pleased with because, again, I bought this because I'm in the middle of a project. I don't have time to drive 2 hours back and forth. So I'm doing this review in real time with you guys. All right, now this is the tack feature. So I'm going to hold my finger on this trigger, and it should only give me a tack, and then the machine will shut itself off. Still holding my finger on the trigger and nothing's happening. Still holding my finger on the trigger and nothing is happening. Well, what do you know? It does what it says. All right, so this was on 4T. Now, that's going to take some getting used to because I took my finger off the trigger and you see how much I deviated. And then this was with the tack feature, which actually is a pretty decent tack. Now, again, I don't think I have quite enough heat getting into this, but I don't know. It looks pretty good to me, right? All right, so what are my thoughts? I like it. You know, one thing that's different is that the door is on this side versus the other side. Other than that, I have no problems with the machine. Yeah, earlier in the video, I panicked because of the whole nothing working, but customer service worked that out. Customer service was just fine. The guy that I emailed, he was just fine, although he said he was sending my information over to R&D. They haven't called back, so that's why I had to reach out to them. But after getting that all worked out, clearly the machine works fine. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it a lot. It's light. You know, the MIG175 weighs, I don't know, 45, 50 pounds. This weighs 26. So here on my welding cart, or Home Depot may call it a baker's rack, it makes it easier to move around. I have it down on the bottom because I'm readjusting the rack here. You know, I've used Eastwood products since 1990. Used to have or actually before that, 1988, I suppose, had a little Monza Mirage. If you don't know what that is, go Google it. But I did a partial restoration on that and used all Eastwood products. I have a cabinet over there full of Eastwood products. I had a MIG135 prior to this. Ran great. No problems with it. It's just that it's a 135 amp and can't do the thicker stuff that I do. In fact, it still runs good. I bought that 4 years ago. I gave it to a friend of mine, and he's going to enjoy it. So you know, the machine comes with the regulator, comes with the hose, comes with your torches. I do like that it uses the DIN style plugs now. So if I want to get a longer ground lead or whatever, I can do that. This particular one also comes with the spool gun for doing aluminum. And I'm going to be using that. I have some projects coming up where I have a ladder rack, a spare tire carrier that I want to do out of aluminum. And although I have my Alpha TIG over there for doing TIG, I can't MIG aluminum. So it's going to be a learning curve for me, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. So again, customer service was great. The people in the store were fantastic. You know, I was really displeased that the Edison store did not have these in stock, and I had to drive all the way out to Pottstown. And when I got to Pottstown, you know, the girls at the counter are kind of like, well, why did you drive out here from New Jersey? So I explained my situation, and they bent over backwards to help me. They were fantastic. The one girl, Allison, she was fantastic. You know, she knew everything. So, you know, her product knowledge was really good, and her customer service skills were very good too. So no problems there. So if you're in the Northeast and you think you're just going to go over to Edison to go get this welder, you're not. All right, go out to Pottstown, stop off and get lunch. There's a lot of mom and pop diners out there to eat at, and they're pretty good. I try to stay away from chain restaurants when I travel. So everything functions as it should, runs great. You know, I went and bought this, okay? I want to put a disclaimer in. I'm not sponsored, okay? I paid for this out of my pocket. I did the traveling 2 hours each way, so 4 hours total. And now, you know, without going too deep down a rabbit hole, we have a new administration and a new whole set of high gas prices. So, you know, lots of fuel back and forth. And it works. It does everything I want it to. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. And I've got my own projects to work on. I'm going to be putting this guy to work right away. If you like the video, you know what to do. Give it a like. If you don't, I don't care. I don't know. Not a whole lot more to say, right? All right, gang. Work safe. Until we see you next time. Peace.